Unemployment in South Africa remains a pressing issue, with the unemployment rate stubbornly high, fluctuating around 32.9% in the second quarter of 2024, according to Statistics South Africa. There are multiple factors contributing to the persistently high unemployment figures, many of which are deeply entrenched in the socio-economic fabric of the country. The common argument surrounding the importation of critical skills highlights the disconnect between the skills that are demanded by the labor market and those possessed by a large portion of the South African workforce, including university graduates. This mismatch, coupled with other economic and social factors, perpetuates the high unemployment rate. One of the critical reasons for high unemployment in South Africa is the skills gap. The country faces a paradoxical situation where there is an oversupply of unskilled and semi-skilled labor, but a shortage of skilled labor, especially in technical fields. According to the National Skills Development Strategy and various reports from organizations such as the Department of Higher Education and Training, there is a severe lack of expertise in STEM science, technology, engineering, and mathematics disciplines. Fields such as engineering, information technology, and medical science are critically short of qualified professionals, yet the bulk of South African graduates emerge from universities with degrees in the humanities and social sciences, areas where there are far fewer job opportunities. In the 2023 QS World University Rankings, South African universities such as the University of Cape Town and Stellenbosch University ranked reasonably well globally, yet the output from these institutions in terms of addressing the nation's most urgent skills needs remains insufficient. According to data from the Council on Higher Education, as many as 60% of graduates between 2018 and 2022 obtained degrees in fields like psychology, sociology, and other social sciences, which have limited relevance in a job market that is heavily tilted towards industries requiring technical and scientific skills. The critical need for professionals in information technology, medicine, engineering, and the natural sciences far outpaces the number of South Africans qualified to fill these positions. The situation is exacerbated by the fact that many South African employers prefer hiring foreigners, particularly in high-demand skill areas, to their South African counterparts. This is not simply a matter of wage discrepancies, though this argument is often cited. Foreign workers, particularly those from other African countries such as Zimbabwe, Nigeria, and Malawi, are perceived to be more industrious, reliable, and willing to take on roles with fewer complaints and lower expectations regarding conditions of employment. Many South African employers report a significant difference in work ethic between local employees and foreign workers. South African employees are often criticized for taking frequent sick leave, filing complaints with the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation, and Arbitration (CCMA), and being resistant to the demands of their roles. The perception that foreign workers accept lower wages has been repeatedly stretched out of proportion. While some foreign workers may accept slightly lower wages, the primary issue for many employers is the reliability and performance difference between foreign and local workers. According to a 2022 report by the South African Institute of Race Relations, foreign workers in sectors such as construction, hospitality, and agriculture were not significantly underpaid compared to their South African counterparts. Rather, employers highlighted that foreign workers were more productive and less likely to resort to industrial action or pursue labor-related grievances as frequently as South African workers, who are seen as more entitled and litigious. This phenomenon of preferring foreign workers is not unique to South Africa. It has been observed in many economies with high unemployment rates, where local workers often have access to social safety nets or labor laws that make it less urgent for them to accept certain types of employment. In South Africa, the strength of the labor movement, including powerful trade unions such as the Congress of South African Trade Unions COSATU, and strong labor protection mechanisms such as the CCMA, provide local workers with greater job security. However, these protections can also act as disincentives for some employers to hire locals, fearing protracted legal battles and complications should labor disputes arise. Another contributing factor to high unemployment is the relatively poor quality of basic education in South Africa. While access to education has increased significantly since the end of apartheid, the quality of education, particularly in mathematics and physical sciences, remains alarmingly low. The 2022 Trends in International Mathematics and Science study ranked South Africa near the bottom globally, with only 28% of learners achieving a pass in grade 12 mathematics in 2023. This poor foundation in critical subjects translates into lower enrollment and success rates in university programs related to STEM fields, further compounding the skills mismatch. The South African government has attempted to address this skills shortage through initiatives such as the Skills Development Act 1998 and the establishment of sector education and training authorities, which are meant to bridge the skills gap by providing targeted training programs. Despite these efforts, there remains a significant disconnect between the education system's output and the demands of the labor market. The 2024 National Critical Skills List highlights this divide, showing a severe shortage of professionals in information technology, engineering, and medical fields, while a surplus of unemployed graduates in non-essential fields continues to grow. Additionally, South Africa's rigid labor laws and inflexible labor market make it difficult for businesses to hire and fire employees, further discouraging investment and growth in industries that could absorb more of the unemployed population. The World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Report for 2023 ranked South Africa poorly in terms of labor market efficiency, citing high costs of hiring and firing, and restrictive labor regulations. This rigidity creates a disincentive for businesses to expand and take on more employees, particularly when combined with the aforementioned issues around work ethic and productivity among local workers. There are also structural economic challenges that fuel unemployment. South Africa's economy has seen sluggish growth for much of the last decade, with annual GDP growth averaging just 0.8% between 2013 and 2023, according to the South African Reserve Bank. This weak economic performance has been driven by multiple factors, including policy uncertainty, inadequate infrastructure investment, corruption, and a declining industrial sector. The COVID-19 pandemic further exacerbated these problems, leading to massive job losses in key sectors such as tourism, hospitality, and retail. While there has been some recovery in 2024, it has been insufficient to absorb the millions of unemployed South Africans. Furthermore, South Africa's high unemployment rate is also compounded by demographic factors. The country has a large youth population, with nearly 37% of the population under the age of 35. Youth unemployment is particularly high, standing at 61% in the second quarter of 2024, according to Statistics South Africa. This demographic pressure adds to the urgency of addressing unemployment, but also creates additional challenges in terms of providing relevant education and training opportunities to this segment of the population. Overall, the reasons for South Africa's high unemployment rate are multifaceted and complex. The mismatch between the skills that the economy demands and those possessed by the majority of the workforce, the poor quality of basic education, the perception of poor work ethic among local workers, rigid labor market regulations, and broader economic challenges all contribute to this persistent issue. Addressing unemployment in South Africa will require a concerted effort from both the public and private sectors to overhaul the education system, provide targeted training programs, and create a more flexible labor market that can respond more effectively to the demands of a rapidly changing global economy. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates.